It is week 3. We are in the home stretch, yogis. So this week we're always going to start standing at the front edge of our mat. When you stand today, I want you to start with your eyes open, and I want you to look at one specific point out in front of you. It can be right out at the wall in front of you or a little speck on the floor in the distance, and I want you to focus your gaze. And then with your gaze focused, steady at one point, this is called a drishti. It's a gazing point. It's a place to put your eyes. See if you can slow down and deepen your breathing. If you can find the ujjayi breath, the little restriction at the back of the throat, excellent. See if you can find a way to move quiet and inside, even with your eyes open. Closing the eyes helps us go inside. But can we start to cultivate a place where we're moving inside, we're moving toward a place of internal quiet, even with the eyes open? So gaze steady, breath deep, feet planted against the earth, spine tall. And we begin. Reach your arms out and up. Breathe in. Bend your knees. Fold your chest to your thighs, fingers to the floor. Uttanasana. Step back with your left leg. Big step back and then twist open to your right and we'll hold for 2. Breathe in. Turn the ribs, breathe out. One more breath. Remember, lengthen on your inhale and then turn with your exhale. Right hand down, inhale. Step to downward facing dog with your exhale. Inhale to plank, and then choose your transition, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. First cobra, hold 2 breaths. Big breath in, chest forward, shoulders in and back. Beautiful. One more big breath in, through bent knees, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Step the right foot to the right thumb tip, drop your left knee and lift your arms up, Anjaneya Asana. 2 breaths, inhale. Exhale, scoop the belly, wrap your right hip underneath you, steady your gaze, one more big breath in, frame your front foot, lift your hips, Parivrtta, folding down your right leg. Hold here, breathe in, breathe out. Your left heel can reach straight back and down to stretch the calf, one more big breath in, spine long. Exhale, fold down your right leg, step forward right into Uttanasana, gaze is forward. Fold down your legs, gaze move through your legs, bend your knees, hinge around up to stand, big breath in. Tadasana, steady your gaze, same gazing point. And then reach up, inhale, gaze lifts. Bend your knees, fold down your legs. Right leg steps back this time, setting up the twist to the left, holding 2 breaths. Inhale, hug your left hip underneath you and turn with your breath out. Inhale, more length. Turn with your exhale. Left hand down, inhale, and step to downward facing dog. Inhale, plank, and then transition knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga dandasana. Cobra pose as you inhale, right into downward facing dog as you exhale. This time the left leg lifts, breathe in. Step your left foot to your left thumb tip, drop your right knee, and lift to Anjaneyasana, hold and breathe. Exhale, hug your left hip underneath you, strong in your belly. One more full breath in, frame your front foot, lift your hips, straighten both legs, Parivrtta. Inhale, hold and lengthen for the exhale. Hug your left hip underneath you, one more deep full breath in, breathe out, step your right foot forward, inhale. Exhale, fold down your legs. Power your legs and come on up to stand. Big breath in. And then steady your gaze as you come to Tadasana. Inhale, reach up. One more round, adding in one pose. Bend your knees, fold your chest to your thighs, Uttanasana. Step your left leg back, breathe in, and then exhale right into the twist. Inhale your right hand down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, adding on, plank pose. We're going to come to a pose called side plank or Vashisthasana on the right side. So roll to the right hand and roll to the outer right foot. Now, if right away this feels like crazy pants on your right wrist and shoulder, the option would be to drop your right shin to the floor, right knee down, right under the hip. Still working the same good length in your left side and grounding into your right hand. So one of the things that happens in this pose is the right shoulder tends to hunch. We've talked a lot about the arm bone integrated. So look down if you're looking up, and then feel like you are dialing your right hand to the right a little. Don't really take it anywhere, but feel like the right hand's gonna move. And that might help you bring your right shoulder blade onto your back and your right arm bone in good alignment in its socket. And then just take 2 more breaths. And if your eyes lift, fine, then your eyes lift, but prioritize the right shoulder blade firm. And then could you lengthen your tailbone even as I push you over and bring your front ribs in. And then with 1 breath out, smile, and then bring your left hand down and come right to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg back and up, breathe in. Let's finish this cycle. Step forward, exhale. Drop your left knee, lift your arms, inhale. Parivrtta as you exhale, lift your hips forward, fold. Step your left foot forward, inhale, flat back. Fold down your legs, exhale, bend your knees, hinge or round up to stand. Tadasana, steady your gaze. Nice and slow, reach out and up, breathe in, look up. Bend your knees forward, fold fingers to the floor. Good, step your right leg back, inhale. Twist open to the left, exhale. Inhale your left hand down and step to downward facing dog. Okay, side plank, left side. Plank pose. And then roll to your left hand and your outer left foot. Or if you do that and right away your left wrist or shoulder says no way, then you bend your bottom knee and put that knee down and you stabilize on the left shin. There's lots of great variations for this pose. This is the one you could work today. Shin down, and then the trick is to keep that bottom buttock, the left buttock in this case, lengthening and the front ribs integrating as you work your shoulder blade onto your back. So a little feeling of dialing your left hand to the left is gonna help to bring the left shoulder blade onto the back of the left ribs. Then the right arm reaches straight up out of your bottom arm. 2 more breaths, front ribs in, tailbone long. You can look down, you can look to the side. You could look up, bringing your drishti to your right middle finger, but your gaze down is extra stabilizing. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Finish this sequence on the left side, left leg lifts. Step to the left, thumb tip. Drop your right knee, lift your arms, Anjaneyasana. Frame your left foot, lift your hips, Parivrtta. Step forward into a flat back, breathe in, lengthen your spine. Fold down your legs, exhale. Bend your knees and hinge your round up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. Tadasana, steady your gaze. 3 breaths, try not to fidget. Eyes steady, breath deep, brain smooth. 1 more, slow, deep breath. Great, and then just step your feet together and come right into chair pose. So we'll do a little lunging sequence before we take a couple standing poses, couple new standing poses, but first we're gonna open up the hips a little. Couple breaths in chair pose to find the strength of your belly and your legs. Excellent. 1 more deep breath in. See if you can bend your knees a little deeper. Steady your gaze on your inhale. It will help, I promise. Big step back with your left leg right along the midline and then warrior 2. You can shift your gaze to the side wall or you can gaze over your right middle finger. Breathe in, sink a little deeper. Good, get your right thigh parallel to the floor. And then extended side angle modified with the right elbow on the right thigh and the left arm straight up. Wrap your right hip underneath you. Hold for another breath out. Get your right shoulder blade on your back. And then frame your front foot, lift your back heel and step right into Uttanasana, feet together. Lengthen your spine as you inhale. Fold down your legs, chair pose, breathe in. Tadasana, find your steady gaze. Feet together, chair pose, gaze steady. Good, right away, lunge your right leg back, step way back and then come to warrior 2. Remember your eyes can be over your front middle finger or you can look to the side wall if that helps you steady your body in space. Left elbow, left thigh, right arm straight up, left shoulder blade on your back, right arm reaches. Frame your front foot, lift your back heel. and step right into Uttanasana. Lengthen your spine, feet together. Fold down your legs. Chair pose. Inhale. Tadasana. Exhale. I'm going to flow through that once. Chair pose. Inhale. Steady gaze. Left leg reaches back. Exhale. Warrior two. Full breath in. Deepen the bend of your front knee. Exhale. Extended side angle. Right elbow to thigh. Turn your right hip underneath you. Right knee over the ankle. Frame your front foot. Lift your back heel. Breathing in. Uttanasana, feet together. Flat back, breathe in, feet together, coil. Fold down your legs. Chair pose, inhale. Exhale, Tadasana. Gaze, steady breath, smooth. Chair pose, inhale. Exhale, right leg back, breathe out. Warrior two, breathe in, heel to heel alignment. Sink down, left leg deep. Left elbow, left thigh, right arm up. Extended side angle. Wrap your left hip underneath you, left shoulder blade on your back. Frame your left foot, lift your right heel, and step into Uttanasana. And then make your feet hip distance and grab your two blocks and put them out in front of your feet about 6 inches on their highest height. Bring your hands onto your blocks, lengthen your spine, and then lean your weight into your hands a little bit and draw your left knee into your chest. Left knee tucking into the chest, draw your left heel towards your left sits bone, and then pause a moment here. Put a little bend in your standing leg and see if you could open your front chest here. Now, if you need a little more height in your arms, you can come up onto your fingertips on those blocks. And then really super strong in the belly. You can keep a bend in your standing leg. You're going to begin to straighten your left leg back as your chest goes forward. Warrior three pose. Modified by supporting on blocks. But even as you support yourself on blocks, broaden your collarbones. Good. So what tends to happen in Warrior three is the hip of the lifted leg tends to go crazy lifting up. You want to keep that hip really square so your low back is stable and long. Now you stay right where you are. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit, reach your right arm back in line with your right hip. Really strong in your belly, and maybe even reach your left arm back in line with your left hip wherever you are. Hands on blocks or arms reaching. Take one more deep breath in and a deep breath out. Hands on blocks if they're lifted. Draw your left knee into your chest for a moment to counter pose. Make a little ball with your knee into the nose and then step down, feet hip distance. Okay, right into the other side. Draw your right knee into your chest. Really strongly square your hips here. Remember, you can always bend your standing leg a little bit and then bring a little upper chest back bend into the pose. And then slowly begin to curl your right leg back. Hips square, and then could you broaden your collarbones a little, even if that means lifting a little higher onto your fingertips. You can think of your outer left hip pulling back a little here. Your belly needs to work like crazy. And then maybe your left arm reaches back. Do not forget your all-important gazing point. And maybe your right arm sneaks back. Tailbone long, belly in. Hug your outer shoulders in, broaden your collarbones. Very beautiful. One more breath right where you are. Hands to blocks if they're lifted. Draw your right knee into your chest to counter pose and stand down. Hip distance. We're going to come right into the next standing balance. Left knee into the chest, just like we started. And then put a bend in your standing leg for sure. And then go ahead and lean into your right hand. Bring your left hand to your hip. And we're going to unwind to what's called half moon pose. So with a bend in your standing leg, I want you to be really sure your right knee is tracking forward. And then you're going to start to open your left hip. As the hip opens, the left leg can begin to straighten, but you want to be sure that your right knee is tracking your right foot and not wavering to the left. Maintaining a bend in the standing leg can be a great idea. And then as much weight as you need to in the right hand, or if you're feeling sassy and you want to come up onto your fingertips and take a little less weight in the hand, you might fall, but then you fall with a smile. 2 more breaths. If you want to lift your top arm, you can, but keep your top hip stacking over your bottom hip and your tailbone lengthening, and then unwind just like you came in. Bring your left hand down, square your hips. Draw your left knee into your chest, round into a nice little ball, and step down. Good, right into the other side. Draw your right knee into your chest. Pause a moment, find your standing leg in your belly. Put a bend in your standing leg. Keep that knee tracking the bottom foot. Bring your right hand to your right hip. And then start to stack your right hip on your left hip. As you begin to straighten your top leg, you do not need to straighten your bottom leg. Do straighten your top leg. Flex your right foot. See if you could curl your left hip underneath you a little bit more. Front ribs in. Eyes down, steady drishti at the floor makes the balance easier. As you get more confident here, your gaze, your drishti can move to the side wall and maybe even one day up towards your right middle finger. Take one more breath in right where you are. Front ribs in, tailbone long, and then unwind slow. Right hand down, hips square, right knee into the chest. Make a little ball in the body and step down. And then just slide your blocks aside and bounce your spine up a couple times. Yeah, shake your booty around, shake your wrists. The balancing is done. Come high on the balls of your feet, feet together, heels lifted. Stand up tall, steady your gaze, and slowly, slowly begin to lower down. Good. When your hips have gone as low as they can go, reach your arms forward or reach your fingers back for the floor. Pass through boat pose. 3 breaths in and out. Nice. Chest lifted, shoulders back, belly pulling away from thighs. Very beautiful. Sit up taller on your sits bones. Lift your chest, shoulders back. Belly to spine, thighs away from chest, chest away from thighs. Beautiful. One more big breath and lift at the tips of your sits bones and then lower down. Come on to your back. All right, feet together, knees apart. Supta Baddha Konasana, and then we're going to come into a pose called fish pose. We'll take a modified variation. So grab your outer thighs right near the buttocks. It's going to give you a little leverage. Push your elbows down and lift your chest and shoulders and head up off the floor. Good, and then you really push your elbows down to lift your chest. Beautiful, Koya. So the heart lifts, the collarbone spread, you get a little stretch for your belly, and then your head can just fall back in space. Now, if you don't like the way that feels on your neck, you just keep your head extended out of your shoulders, or you could even look down your front body. Eventually, your head drops to the floor in this pose. You might even try that and decide how that works on your own neck. But you definitely don't need to bear any weight on your head if it doesn't feel awesome in your cervical spine or your neck. Take 2 more breaths right where you are, but really press your elbows down, spread your chest apart, and see if you can hug your outer shoulders in. Good work. One more huge breath in, chest lifts, and then before you come down, lift your head up, tuck your chin into your chest, and then curl down. Beautiful. Gather your legs into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, 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 squeezy, squeeze. And then a quick, simple twist left and right. Put your feet on the floor. We haven't done this yet. Super simple and yummy. Feet wide as your mat. Just let your knees flop to the left. Just let them hang over to the left. Your feet are still as wide as your mat. And then turn your ribs and your gaze to the right. Really simple twist. And mostly gravity's doing the work. And then just breathe. In and out. Beautiful. One more. In and out. And to unwind, you simply switch sides. You bring your knees up. Your feet are still mat distance. Let your knees flop over to the left. Let your ribs and your eyes lightly turn to the left. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come back through center. One last time, gather your legs into your chest. Give yourself a really sweet, loving snuggle. Big breath in your nose. Release out your mouth. And then unwind. Prop yourself up. Make yourself really comfortable. Cover yourself if it's a little chilly wherever you are. And let your breath and body unwind. So now the eyes are closed, but you could think of Shavasana as having a steady internal drishti. That internal gazing point could be at what is sometimes called the third eye, the point right inside the skull between the eyebrows. You could think of lightly internally gazing down to the cheekbones. Or there doesn't need to be a specific spot, but you could think of the eyes simply being still. So they're not darting around inside the skull, and that internal stillness of your eyes will lead to a smoothing of your central nervous system, a calming of the chittavrittis, or the fluctuations of the mind. Breath come a little deeper and then stay right where you are or find your comfortable seat. And then 8 breaths in, pause for 4, 8 breaths out. Take a deep breath in your nose to begin. Clear out your mouth. And inhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Focus your inner gaze. Slowly exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, relax, and focus. Inhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Soften as you pause and focus. Out the nose. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax even as you focus your inner eye. Last round. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So calm, yet so steady. Out 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Soften. And you continue on your own as long as you can take for yourself today. We close together. Namaste.